Long before history began to record the truth of kingdoms, there lived an elephant unlike any other. His name was Aru, born beneath a sun that blazed red over the plains of an ancient empire. Aru's mother had belonged to the royal herds, beasts raised not only for strength but for ceremony. Yet from his birth, Aru was different. His eyes held a strange gold shimmer, his steps carried both grace and defiance, and when he trumpeted, the sound shook the air like thunder. The people believed Aru was blessed by the gods of the savannah, the spirit of the sun made flesh. But blessings often become burdens. When Aru reached his full height, taller than any elephant before him, he was summoned to the palace of King Rethan, a ruler whose pride was as vast as his armies. The king sought to tame the beast, to ride him into battle and prove to his enemies that no force, man or nature, could defy his will. The palace trainers tried first with food, then with chains, then with fire. Aru endured, unbroken, his golden eyes watching, unafraid. To him, the king was no master, only another creature trying to command the wild. Whispers spread among the slaves and servants that the elephant could see into the hearts of men, that he recognized cruelty even before it spoke. As the seasons changed, the king's patience with Aru turned to anger. He ordered that the beast be brought before the court, to kneel before the throne or die defying it. The sun blazed that day, harsh and merciless, as if it too watched to see which of its children would fall. When Aru entered the courtyard, the ground trembled. He bowed his head not in submission, but in mourning. For in his heart, he already knew what would come next, a clash between power and spirit, between the man who ruled the land and the creature who carried its soul. The royal courtyard became a battlefield unlike any seen before. Aru, chained and surrounded by soldiers, stood silent as the king's voice rang out across the marble. He was to be broken before the people, an example of what happened to those who defied the throne. But when the first spear struck his side, something within him awoke, a storm older than kingdoms. With a sound like rolling thunder, Aru reared and tore the chains that bound him. His trunk swung like a hammer of gods, scattering men and weapons into dust. The crowd screamed as the great elephant roared, not in rage, but in sorrow. Every step he took cracked the stone beneath him. His eyes blazed gold, reflecting the sun above, and his cry echoed against the palace walls like judgment itself. The king watched, furious yet transfixed. Never had a creature defied him. Never had nature itself refused his command. Aru charged, scattering guards before reaching the royal dais. The king's banner fell, crushed beneath the weight of the beast's feet. For a heartbeat, the world went silent. Dust hung in the air. Then, from the wreckage, Aru stood tall, his hide marked by wounds, his breath heavy, but his spirit unbroken. The people who had once cheered for their ruler now looked upon the elephant with awe. In that moment, they saw not a beast, but a being greater than the crown. The king, trembling with fury and humiliation, swore vengeance. He ordered Aru hunted, captured, or killed. But the elephant was gone before the sun had set, fading into the forests, his trail lit by the dying light. Years passed, and the empire's glory began to fade. Crops failed, soldiers deserted, and whispers spoke of a curse. They said the spirit of the sun had turned its face away from the king. Far in the wild, Aru lived free among rivers and storms. He grew older, wiser, and his legend spread among tribes and wanderers who saw him as the guardian of the earth. But even legends cannot hide forever. One morning, as the sun rose crimson, horns echoed from the valley. The king's army had come. The hunt lasted 3 days. Fires lit the forests, arrows flew, and the king himself rode at the front, seeking vengeance against the elephant that had broken his pride. When the two met again, Aru stood upon a ridge of stone, framed by the burning horizon. There was no fear in his gaze, only the same defiance that had once shaken the throne. The king raised his spear. Aru trumpeted once, and the mountains answered. The earth beneath them cracked, and the tide of battle shifted. Soldiers scattered. Horses reared. And the king, in his fury, advanced alone. No one truly saw how it ended. Some say Aru struck him down with a single blow, Others say the king fell by his own weapon, blinded by rage. But when dawn came, the fires were gone, the king's banner lay trampled, and Aru stood silent among the ashes. He turned toward the rising sun, his eternal kin, and walked away, leaving behind only the memory of the day the Wild had triumphed over the crown.